What's up, guys? It's AJ again, back with another video of my F1 2021 driver career mode playthrough. This is episode 5 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at Baku. This is one of my favorite tracks here, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like Valtteri Bottas is leading the points by 3 points over Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton having a bad race the last race in Monaco in P3, so only 3 points separate the top three. They're kind of walking away from it, and then everybody else is kind of trying to keep pace with them. P4 to looks like down to the McLaren is only another 5 points separate there too. So should be pretty good. Let's see how it goes here. Just kind of go through the beginning scenes to show you what's going on. Now looking at the R&D chart, we are starting to gain on the Ferrari and the McLaren ahead of us. So the R&D upgrades we've been making to try to catch up have been pretty good. So let's see if this will help us. We've had some pretty decent straight line speed, at least at Monaco we did, so this is a track that does require some downforce, so hopefully we can keep up with that pace. Looking forward here, just try to see if we can maintain the top 10 finishes, stay in the steady points, and try to see what we can do here in the next couple races. Canada I'm not that great at, and so other than that, that's kind of a rough track for me, so the next 5 tracks that we'll have 1 or 2 really bad tracks. So I'll do a zoom here real fast so you guys can see where we're sitting on the R&D chart. Hopefully, like I said, we can get ahead of them in a couple of races to see what's going on here. So look at the zoom. We do have a pretty decent gap on the cars behind us. So hoping this will be pretty good, but we'll jump here forward. All right, so the next thing I did here was just set all the engine components for the next race. Like I said, I run older units for practice, then run a less used component for qualifying. So here, the gearbox, I did not want to take a chance of having issues in the race, so I did take a new gearbox for this race, because you're supposed to use 6 races between uses. So this just shows that I used a new gearbox, so I will get a 5-place grid drop after qualifying. So let's see where we can fare here. Like the usual, I did two runs on 1 set in Q1. So this is just the start and end of the laps here, so you guys see what's going on. And I get a quick overview of the track. You can see Max had a 140 in his qualifying run. I did wait a little bit to go out, just to kind of wait for a gap to see where I could shoot for here, and kind of hope to get a nice empty track when I got to this point. So jumping forward here to the end of the lap. Get down the long straight to see if I can grab a nice long range toe off the guy in front of me here. I think that was the Ferrari. Not sure which one, but it looks like it was one of them. And I had a time of 141.9, so that puts me in P6. So what I usually do on these is do a cool down, do a recharge on the ERS, and I'll go for another lap. So we'll see what we get for another lap, see if we can gain any time on the guys ahead of us. So this goal in this Q1 is just to make it in the top 6 or top 15 in points, or in the times. So we'll see where we're at. See, already going into turn 1, I already did gain a little bit going through the turn, and about a half a tenth up. Went into turn 2.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
So we'll see where we get to going towards the end of the sector, and we are about 2 tenths up by the end by the time we get to turn 3. So second lap is definitely going to be faster, and I think if I do remember, I did leave it on this. I didn't cut as much out so you guys can see how this track is and how much you got to use the track limits to try to get a fast time here. Going through the rest of sector 2, going towards the castle section. You guys see here the nice hairpin we get coming up here. Now we're half a second up on the time, and then we'll hit the castle section. You guys hit this sector real perfect, not to hit the wall or invalidate. So nice line through there, easy does it as we go through sector 2 to finish the sector off. This is where, watching the times through practice and qualifying, this was my worst sector, sector 2, just to get out of there. I did lose a lot of time, so that's where I was losing all of it, but I was getting it all back in sector 3 because of the straight line speed that we did have in the car. So hitting the rest of sector 2, we are about 7 tenths up on our time from lap 1. So next is just wide open down the main straight to see what kind of a lap time we can finish off with. So it is a lap around Baku, so that way you guys know what the track is like. Let's see what we have here for. See, we are gaining we did gain about a tenth down that straightaway, half a tenth. So hopefully we can be solidly in the top 10 anyways with this time. And we have a time of 141.142. Let's see here. This is just who got knocked out. So Mazepin, Latifi, Schumacher, Russell, and Giovinazzi I knocked out in Q1. So we were at P10, so not too bad. We do need to get a little bit of pace to get through here, but this race is a 2-stop normally. Soft, medium, medium is what normally I usually do at this track. So the goal this time was just to get through on softs. Wasn't even good attempt on mediums, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go run two laps, run one set, and then the second one, and see what we can fare here. So this is lap 1. Just to start, see what kind of lap time we can get. And I'm just gonna, I think if I remember right the way I did this, we're just gonna do the highlights of this. I just basically just grabbed clips from the recording when I was doing this, and just kind of did an easy first lap. I knew I wasn't gonna be relying on it. Just kind of using it to get that way I had a banker lap to go off of. So to get a little bit understeer there as I push through the corner, and then jumping towards the end of the lap here. Down the main straight, we are like I said, I do usually run lower fuel on these runs too, so not too bad there. We will get a lap time of 140.9. So I was actually faster this run than I was the last one. So I had a 140.9 before. So starting the second run, I did like I did last time. I went at the end of the queue, so I knew what kind of lap time I had to beat. And being P4, I really didn't have much to worry about. At least I felt. So going through the first sector here out of turn 1, I did have a 10th up on my previous time, 2/10 because of how bad the understeer was the first time around. So this lap seemed to be way better as it was. We're up to 4/10 by the end of the main straight here, so we're not too bad. Jumping towards the end of the lap, we are 8/10 up. So this is, like I said, looks like I had a purple sector 1. Sector 2 is pretty decent so far. So let's see what kind of a lap time I can get finishing this lap off. Easy does it around the corner, down the hill. The last left-hander before the main straight. So Lewis Hamilton 140.3 looks like for a fast lap. We're a full second up on our time. So this is pretty good lap running here. Let's see how much time we can gain going around the S's. Just actually lost about a 10th through there, but still not too bad. Hopefully to reach can we get in the 139s maybe to finish this lap through, get through Q2. It looks like we have a time of 140.1, I think, which is going to put us at 140 flat. So that'll put us at P1. Our teammate made it through with us in into Q3. So like both Astons, both Alpines, and the other Alfa Romeo is out. So Raikkonen, Stroll, Vettel, Alonso, and Ocon are out. So it looks like it's the same 5 teams on the top of the R&D chart are the ones in here, and we are 7/10 apart. So see what we can do. And if I remember right, when I did this, I did do 2 runs for Q3 as well. I did a banker lap on old softs. I think I did them on the set from the Q1. So like I said, this lap was going to be really terrible, but I used it till I had a delta to go off for my final run. So just kind of show you the highlights of the lap. Using the track limits as much as I can, just to try to see if I can open the corners up some, so that we're just trying to scrub as much speed off as possible. Going to the end of the lap through the S's. See what kind of lap time we can put ourselves on, so that way we have something to judge off of for the second run of Q3. So looks like we had a lap time of 140.8. So wasn't the fastest. Definitely have some speed compared to before. Like I said, I was just using that for a banker, so I had something to go off of for a delta. So starting the lap here, see how much time we gain just to the first couple corners like we did last time. Looks like we're also already up a 10.5 through turn 1. I think I gained another 10.5 out of turn 2, to be honest, if I remember right from doing this. Yep, we're about 2.5 tenths up now. 3 tenths up out of turn 2. So like I said, this second lap's way better with newer tires. So let's see where we're at through the end of sector 1, if I think that's where I stopped this part of the recording. So we're 6 tenths up through that part of the lap. Full second now towards the end of sector 1. So purple sector 1, nice and easy through the S's. And looks like through the hairpin we're at a 1.3 up, so not too bad. By the end of sector 2 going on to the main straight, we are 1.9 seconds up on our time, 2 seconds now, so doing pretty good. I think Looks like we're on track to be a pretty decent lap. Looks like we're 2.1 seconds up, so we might even get to the 139s, possibly. See if we can jump up some spots to try to get on the front row. Like I said, even though we had the grid penalty, we have something to go off of, so we know what our pace is like. And it looks like we have a time of... the time of 1:39.77, so we are on pole by 0.3 or 1.3 seconds, so 10th and a half pretty much, and a second, 1.2 seconds above our teammates. So we have some good pace to go off of. Okay, like so we have the 5th place grid drop, so we will start in 5th place. Hopefully we can make something out of it and see where we're all at. See what kind of grid penalties we have on the grid too, because here once we get to this part of the season, people are going to start having the grid penalties. So maybe we get lucky, have some people up with us that have grid drops as well. Let's see what we can do here. Let's go to the grid and find out.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Rose, Ricciardo, Sainz, Stroll and Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Ocon, Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Russell, Leclerc, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Mazepin and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So you see, this is the race strategy for the race today. I did drop the fuel down to just above 26 laps. And then you did see the grid penalties were Leclerc and Gasly also had grid penalties, so it'll be really interesting with maybe the only AlphaTauri in the top 10 right now. Let's see what we can do here. So the guys in the bottom half of the field may be doing a one-stop medium to hards. You know, the hards are not a very favorable tire here, at least in my experience. I'd rather do the two-stop anyways. So let's see what we can do here. Go to the grid and see what we can do with lights out and what kind of pace we have with the rest of the field. With the Baku City Circuit for the 5 red lights to go out, and it is lights out and away we go at the streets of Baku. Looks like the 2 Red Bulls get away really well. Perez covers off his staff and he gets into turn 1 first. We had a dive bomb by, looks like myself, down the inside. I don't know if I missed my braking point or whichever, but we did lose a couple spots going down through turn 1. So that drops us down to P7 from P5. So this is some incidents from the back here, just kind of showing you the restarts and some highlights off the grid. How about with Leclerc? He started P16. It looks like he does get a nice lunge up the inside, picks up 2 to 3 spots, so he's up to P13. 14 up there. Looks like he does stay alongside Raikkonen. Will he get? Oh, he jumps up a bunch of spots, so he's up to P10 by the end of turn 2, P11. So that's not a bad start by him. Gotta go back here to Alonso, because I think he did pick up a spot or 2 as well. We'll kind of watch him. Looks like he does gain a spot or so coming through there. So kind of a hectic start off of this race. as we keep going here, see where we end up getting to down the end of the straightaway. Looks like Hamilton is a P4, Bottas P3, and they're both Red Bulls leading the race. So Norris is trying to get past Hamilton and try to keep the spot. Now looks like a nice battle side by side there. So Hamilton does keep ahead of Norris going through sector 2. Kind of going back watching Alonso at the end of lap 1. Will he make a move on Ricardo in turn 1? Looks like Stroll is going to make a move on Alonso. Looks like he might go 3 wide and then the turn 1. No, Ricardo does get by Alonso, but Vettel does not. Or Stroll does not. So not too bad. Still going side by side down to turn 2, but I think Ricardo will get the move done here as we get into this that past turn 2. So up to the battle of Norris and Hamilton. Norris tries to make another move on Hamilton. Will he get there before we get to the next turn 5? Turn 4, he does not. He's still side by side. It looks like the battle with Ricardo and Alonso is still going on back and forth. So Norris does get past Hamilton this time in sector 2. So not too bad. Looks like we got some battles behind there as well. Just trying to people jockeying for position. So see what we got here moving forward. See who can move where. So everybody's going to the castle section. End of the lap 2 to see where we're at. We're P7 about 1.5 seconds behind Sainz. So we're just trying to bide our time, manage our tires. And where I was thinking on this, depending on what happened, I was thinking about undercutting these guys ahead of us because the undercut is pretty powerful because the rear tires do wear pretty quick. So I was just kind of watching to see where my time was. If I was gaining on them and I was still within 2 seconds of them, I was going to try to undercut the guys ahead of me just to see what I could get for positions. So that was my goal. Just to see where I was. Top 5, I think, was the goal that I set for this race, just to see where I could finish. So Perez is leading, followed by Verstappen in second, about 6/10 behind him. Now they'll get DRS going on this straight. And then Bottas and Norris behind the 2 of them. So let's see what happens going on the straight. Let's go down the main straight here. He's within 6/10, so I should get DRS off of Max here, going down the main straight to see if he can make a move here. He's gaining on him. Gaining. He is within 3/10. DRS should be open now to make the move. Yes, it is. Looks like Max will have the move down the inside. Will he keep the position? Side by side through past turn 1 into turn 2. Looks like Perez covers off the inside, and looks like Perez will keep the position in the way we stand. So not too bad, battling side by side. Max will get the DRS again, but I don't think he'll keep this. I don't think he'll get the spot. I don't know if he has enough time. Push the inside, and he will try to make a move here too. Looks like he gets it. Perez does keep ahead though, so it's good battling for the lead as we go into running the lap 4 here. So jumping ahead, we have the two Red Bulls battling for the lead still, going down through the castle section past turn or into sector 3. So going around to the last, I think it's turn 16 down here, 15. See what we can do here for another run on Perez. Let's see if Max can set him up going down this straight. So not quite sure if he can get the move done. We'll just have to see. Max is going to try to set him up going down the main straight here. Get the move done. I don't think he'll be able to get close enough to him. Just like the last lap. He's farther ahead. So, going down through the field. Looks like, I think I did. Go ahead and try to undercut him here. I did try to do an undercut on the guys ahead of me to try to gain a spot. So, it was a long shot, but I was going to try it just to see if I could do anything with it. So we put the mediums on, so the goal was to do a soft, medium. I just kind of split the medium stint in half. So I just wanted to see where I come out, hopefully gain some spots on the way out. We got Vettel and Stroll battling. Or Vettel and Alonso. I think Vettel does stay side by side with Alonso. I don't know if he keeps the spot. Let's see going into turn 2. It looks like he will not get the spot because Alonso got DRS off of Vettel. I believe. No, Vettel did. So Vettel will get ahead of Alonso going into turn 3. So good battle in there also. Gasly's up to P15 from 20th position off the start, so he did get a couple spots. Let's see what he can do going forward. We did come out in P20, about 4 seconds behind Mazepin. So the goal was just to catch up as much as I could before these guys ahead of me pitted. So jumping up to the front of the grid, we have looks like a battle for the lead. Is one of them coming in the pits? Yes, Max is coming in the pits. So see how much of an undercut that'll be on his teammate. He's putting on the mediums. Lewis is coming in as well with put the mediums on. And then Ricardo comes in with the mediums on, and Leclerc also. So a lot of front runners coming in to get the stops done. So we get way ahead of Leclerc, but Sainz was the one we was trying to undercut. So looking down the main straight, looks like we have a battle back here in ourselves and the Haas driver, so we do get past them. Hamilton battling with Russell, I believe. Yep. So he is ahead of us by about 2 seconds. So that was who I was trying to keep with when this race was actually going on, because he was my judge, or my target to keep track of. His pace was going to determine where I was when everybody came out. So Ricardo, who was behind us before the stop, is about a half second behind us. So we did get ahead of him. Looks like Perez is coming down the main straight, is going to come into the pits now with Bottas. So the other 2 leaders coming in. Let's see how much of a difference that extra lap made for them. Looks like Norris is also coming in. So this right here is going to judge where everybody comes out and how much the stop helps. So Stroll's in, Alonso's in. So it looks like we did jump both of those guys. So we are coming down the main straight now, or about to. So we'll see where we come out at. Also following Schumacher, so the goal is to pass him and get ahead as well. So let's see what we got. So we had DRS off of Schumacher. We blow by him, and let's see where we fare coming down to the straight here. So we do not gain anything on Sainz. I think a lot of it was because being held up by Schumacher and Mazepin, probably. So I don't remember how much we were behind him, but I didn't gain too much off of him. So we'll see where we get to here. We do have more stops, so maybe try to do an undercut again, just depending on where we get to. So the goal now is just chase down Sainz and see what I can do to get a top 6 or top 5 finish out of this. Bottas is leading though, but I think Bottas stayed out longer than Perez and Max, so that's interesting strategy there. And Perez gets the lead off. Looks like he tries to get past Bottas here, see who can get where. Interesting side-by-side battle with these two. We're all the way to lap 9 already, so we did jump forward a couple laps here once we got rolling. Nice side-by-side battle between these two, and Max is just kind of biding his time behind them. See who can get ahead here going through turn 4. And 5 and 6 coming up here. They're still side-by-side. Max just waiting for an opportunity for one of these two to slip up. But Bottas goes understeer a little bit, so we wanted to back off to make the move to keep it clean. So had to either end of lap 9. We got Perez still leading, Bottas in second, Max in third. So within a second of everybody's top 3. Norrison's 4th, Hamilton in 5th, and Sainz in 6th. So pretty clean racing up at the front. The Word 7th, Ricardo 8th, Leclerc 9th, and Mick Schumacher currently in 10th, but I don't think he pitted yet. So let's see where everybody comes out at. So let's see if we go back to the front here, because we're nothing doing with us. So we'll see where this battle takes us up front. We're going here down the next straight to see where we get to. There's over for some guys there. We are still trying to catch Sainz. We're about 4.5 seconds behind Sainz now. So Sainz looks like he has a little more pace than us. So our goal is just to keep up as much as we could, just to not lose any time here. All the way to lap 12 now. See if we can gain or lose time off of him, but I don't. No, we're 1.1 seconds. So sorry, I was looking at the wrong delta. So we are catching him. See if we can get to him here before everybody pits again. So with us putting on lap 4, I believe the softs or mediums can go 11 or 12 laps. So we were just trying to go as far as we could on these tires to see where we actually get to. So the goal is just to get within the DRS range so I can pull closer to him and get out of Ricardo's DRS. So we are, I don't think I can get the DRS this pass, but we are getting closer as we speak. And then looks like, so it looks like we got DRS to catch up here, so let's see if we can get some space here. Did we not get it? I don't think we did. So just kind of playing by ear here. We did get a lot of space on him. We are up to 6/10 behind him, so just kind of waiting for him to make a mistake just so we can pounce. So we get DRS this next straight. So not too bad. We did gain some time now out of that stretch here. We seem to have a little bit better pace on the mediums than the softs compared to everybody else. So the goal is just to kind of right behind him a minute, because I wasn't good at catch Hamilton, I didn't think. So goal is just to get behind him before the end of the race. So I was just kind of gonna watch, see where my pit window was, and maybe try to undercut him this time, the second time, see if the undercut worked this time. Hopefully I wouldn't get out in traffic the second time. So we'll see. I'm coming down this straight, see if we can't make a move happen. And we should have DRS this time as we pass the line. Go around the outside. We do get the move done going into turn 1. See where we get to. Let's see if I can get a gap from him before we have to make our stop. Maybe we could do a little bit of a overcut to try to make these tires last, have better tires at the end. So jumping forward, Perez leading by 3/10 over Bottas. So that's the battle for the lead. Max is in 3rd, and Lando Norris in 4th with Hamilton in 5th. So there's a top 5. As we scroll through here on lap 14, we're in P6, about 4.5 seconds behind Lewis. So I don't know if we'll be able to catch him where we're sitting right now, but that was the goal, try to catch him, see if we can't get away from Sainz enough to where we're not affected by the DRS too much and gotta get some breathing room. So going through the castle section here, you can see the battle we have back here. It's kind of nice, try to keep it clean and smooth these turns so that way you can't make too much of a gain on us. So we'll go into lap 14. Looks like Bottas is going to try to make a move on Perez. And they're side by side going into 1. Looks like Bottas will get the move done going into turn 2. So that's unfortunate for Perez. See if he can't make some ground back up on this DRS zone going forward. I don't think so. This Perez might have an issue, looks like, because he is slowing down a lot. And he is getting it to where Max is being able to catch up to him. So let's see what we got going down the main straight, lap 15. Battling with Sainz again. Let's see if we can stay ahead of him. But it looks like Sainz will get DRS off of us. So I think I move all the way to the left side because I was going to pit. And Sainz was just right on my tail the whole time. So he got the same idea I did. I did get a little bit of ground on him going to the pit. So let's see what we get here. See how both of our stops fare. See who could be a little bit faster on the fresher tires. So Sainz comes in, and so do we. So we're putting another set of mediums on, and I believe he did too. So looks like we did come in and out at the same time. So we'll see how much of a gap we get. We're down to P10 now, but like I said, some guys are first in that pit. Max and Lewis came in the next lap. Looks like they're both putting the mediums on. And then we're trying to make a move on Stroll here. On the inside, looks like Stroll comes in the pits, so we'll just kind of keep moving. We're second behind Vettel now. So we're up to 6th, or 7th. Once Vettel comes in, we'll be up to 6th. So we're still, didn't lose too much time. We are about 5 seconds behind Lewis by the time it's all said and done. So we did lose about a second, but I think a lot of that was the outlap again. So we try to make a move on Vettel going into turn 3, which we get that done. I tried to use him as a back marker to hold him up. So Gasly's the P16. He's still down there, so that doesn't help our championship fight at all. Looks like Bottas and Perez come in the pits now. I think Norris was with them, so I don't know how much that's going to hurt those two, but Max is only 15 seconds behind, so I have a feeling he's going to get a massive undercut by pinning first. Looks like Max this is on board with him. He's going to come out of the pits, and he is ahead of both of them, so he had played the strategic masterclass there, pitting before those two. Now he is about 2 seconds up on Hamilton, about 2.5 to 3 seconds ahead of Valtteri and Sergio, so we are 5.5 seconds behind Norris. So that's my goal, is just to finish there once we got rolling here. So just kind of keep the gap between us and 7th. And just kind of hope we kept the spot, because right now, like I said, our fight was with McLaren and all those top guys. So just kind of try to get through the race in one piece. No incidences. And then Gasly's up to 12th after the pit stops rolled through. So he still has a couple spots to make up. See if he can get to P10 before the end of the race to try to get the point at least to help us out. And Valtteri trying to make a move on Hamilton to try to get P2. So those two are fighting for their spots. Going forward here around turn 1 and 2. So not too bad of battling going on here. This race is actually pretty interesting compared to how some of the races around this track have been. They're either hit or miss in my opinion, whether they're good or bad. So Max, Bottas, and Hamilton top 3. Perez was right behind there, but he did drop off pace significantly since right before that pit stop. So I don't know if there was an issue and then he's just finally getting back going or what, but that's kind of unfortunate for him. Norris in 5th, we're in 6th, about 6 seconds behind them. We got about a 3-second gap on Sainz. So once I got this gap, I would just kind of start minding my tires and try to keep the distance of them. Just to keep them out of DRS. That way I had the pace if I need it. So Sainz looks like he's trying to make a move on Ricardo. Or Leclerc is, I'm sorry. So DRS is open for Leclerc. And looks down the inside. He'll be able to get the move done going into 1. He's in the racing line, so it looks like he's side by side with him still. So can he get to turn 1 first? Or turn 2 first? And he's ahead, but who had DRS? It will be Ferrari. So he should be able to get the overspeed going down this straight. Looks like he does. So he'll be ahead into turn 3. Yes. No, he's barely, but they're still side by side. Good battling here by these two. Turn 4, they are still side by side. So it looks like the McLaren is also on hards too. So I think they might have had a little bit of issues with tire wear the last stint. So that's kind of interesting there as well. So just kind of looking at the top 3 again. We over 2 laps to go. Did jump forward here a little bit. Top 3 are within a second and a half to their top 4 within 2 seconds. Norris is hanging on by a thread. We're 5.5 seconds behind Norris, and Sainz is about 7.5 seconds behind us. So it got really lonely, really boring. So I was trying to finish the race. That's why we're jumping forward here, because there really wasn't much to show. So jumping forward to the end of the last lap, looks like Max Verstappen will win this race on pit strategy and getting the lead off of the pit stops. So good by him. Bottas in 2nd, but 3/10 behind. It would be close, but not close enough. Hamilton in 3rd. And Perez in 4th, so that's a good top 4. Norris is in 5th. We come home 6 seconds behind Norris in P6. So best finish of the season so far by us, I believe. Sainz and Leclerc in 7th and 8th, so the Ferraris get double points. McLaren in P9, and then Vettel will get P10. So Gasly did not make the points. This goes down to us making the points here. So we are in P6. We did start 6th on the grid, so we didn't actually lose a spot. We also did get fast lap midpoint of the race. I think it was after that 2nd stop, so that does give us a bonus point. Gasly does not help us, though, in any situation. Good points by Red Bull and Mercedes, so those guys did pull away in the constructors, I believe. We'll see them in a minute. McLaren got some points, but I think we did get more. No, we did not get more points than them, so we did lose some ground to them, but we gained ground on the Ferrari, or we're really close. So, show the driver standings here next. All right, next we have a look at the driver standings. We are P5, so we did jump up a spot because we were P6, I believe, before, so we are above Leclerc now, so that does help us out a bunch. Gasly stayed at P11 with only 16 points, so let's see. It's kind of hurting us in the constructors, but we are at least in the points right now consistently as a team. So Jumping forward to look at the constructors of second. Max keeps the lead, or does jump in the lead by 4 points. Bottas loses the points lead, and then both Mercedes are P2 and 3. Perez is certain, but I think the 2 races that he had did not help him any either. So, jump to the constructors' points. So look at the constructor standings. Looks like McLaren does jump us in the constructors' points. So we did drop a spot down to P5. But Mercedes does keep the lead. Red Bull second. Those two are pulling away significantly from Ferrari and McLaren. So not too bad. But if you guys did like this video here, give us a thumbs up. We'll be back here next week with another 2 videos. We'll jump and see just the average finish where we're standing so far here next. But like I said, while this is loading, I do ask you guys to give us a like and a follow. Here's a look at the finishes right now. So Max does take the lead by 4 points. You can kind of see he's got a better average finish right now than the top 3. Hamilton got hurt real bad on the one lower finish at Monaco. And Perez had those 2 non-points finishes. So we're keeping up with them. See if we can at least get P5 in the driver standings. We did, our better race was at Monaco so far, but this wasn't our second best. We did also have fast laps. So it wasn't too bad of a race. So if you guys did like what you see, give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you here next time. Thank you.